No, I know. Good, yes. We'll create that traffic. No, we'll create that, yes, sir. We'll create that. Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah. Welcome again, our fellow South Africans, and we are so thankful that you gave us this time once more to share this prophetic governance message with yourselves. Now, I want us to go through certain details in order to understand. Now, let us just go through this now for a while. Who is Ecoforum? Because I believe that you have it in your heart to understand the man behind and the man when God calls you. We needed to do that so we can lay a platform so you understand very well that it is a prophetic inclination for us to come to as far. Now, Economic Emancipation Forum, in short, which is Ecoforum, now which is a movement. It's a movement because we believe in the move of God. In the move of God, it's a movement that will be an admiral, or it is also an admiral today, a government, a herald of what? Of ordinary people in all of South Africa, in all spheres also to as far as Africa. And now in which you need to understand that our verbiage and adage are more, it's a makeup and also are influence and derivative from the Holy Scriptures. And the reason why we have taken up, even constitutionally, from the Word of God is because we have realized that there are so many philosophical points, in terms of view or political view, that which are now utilized building nations out there in the world. But now, the moment you leave out the God who is the creator, it's a sense of leaving out the material that is of importance, because now I'm going to talk God in terms of His Word and talk Him as natural law. Now I want to go deep so that you understand that when He releases people, we are not just coming out to pray, or maybe they want to say a benedictional minister who will open and close. No, we professionals, we preordained even with wisdom. And now the wisdom that is there must also be presented. And that's the reason why it is important and also imperative for us to come to that time that says, the time that says we are ready, even as the body of Christ, or the people of God, or even the nation of South Africa, because Africa loves God. Africa loves God, independent of what they can either believe. Because why? They love God. They remain putting God first before any other thing. So now in this, I just wanted to share that it is in that mode that we are coming out as a movement, and then also understanding that now a democracy without the first mentioned theocratical fundamental or foundational principle is subjected to destruction and failure. It matters not how great our policies are. It matters not how powerful, how we embrace, education and academia. But now, if we can understand the naturality of the law of God, we will know that it is greater than all human law that we have in this world. So now Ecoforum takes from that point of view. Now our laws, meaning also our policies, are derivative from the Holy Scriptures, and it's period. Now you can say what you say and begin to now be derivative from wherever you do, meaning take your knowledge, but our knowledge is taken from there, and we want to be articulated as such. And when we now denote or begin to now allude to God, we speaking him that has no walls, him that does not identify us by manner of race, neither culture, but he is a God that identifies us as humankind. Now the kind of people that God has a purpose for them. Now how do you serve a purpose for people in order to be able to fulfill that which they are called for? They need to be now acquainted with movements that speaks in line with their lives. Because where there is God, there is grace. And I love it. Why? Because the world doesn't have grace. The world denounces, the world renounces, the world puts you down, the world wants to put you down at all times. But now God will at all times give you grace. Because however you come to him, he receives you as what? As his creation, as he who has created for what? For a greater purpose. Now I want you to come with me and understand again. Now then he begin to establish, and he speaks Ecoforum. Now this Ecoforum as a government now stands as what? As a tripartite movement. Now it actually have to stand as a tripartite because we represent triune, and when triune is tripartite, then he is Trinity. Then he's understood from the church level, from the business level, the corporate world, and he's also understood also from what? From the level of the politics, because he's Trinity. And now when you arrive at that level, then you understand that is where Ecoforum is at. Now first ember of this tripartite, Ecoforum speaks as a political what? As a political movement. And we stand in there as what? As Economic Emancipation Forum. And in abbreviation or in acronym is Ecoforum, which you are going to find on your ballot paper on the 8th of May 2019, and something is going to happen, and I say to you, hashtag Isivungu. Now when you get to the second ember, you will see there, it is what we call, that's a second ember, we're building up. We have built it first from what? From the political movement, because of the systems that are already being laid out there, that are already there. Not that we are going there blindly, but the systems are there that actually says the only time you will be recognized to be able to stand and become a lawmaker in the nation of South Africa or the world, or the nations of the world, it's when you are politically affiliated. Now we have taken the route because we can come in any camp. He said, he spoke this way, that you can even drink poison, they shall not even do you no harm. You'll tread upon scorpions, shall do you no harm. You will tread upon serpents, shall do you no harm. I understand the fear that has been put out there when we talk politics, and now I can tell there's a bishop now saying, oh, politics is a rough game, it's a rough game. Church is a rougher game. It's the roughest game, where they kill you while they are smiling at you, where they put you down while they are with you in the church. Now we need to know that we are called for the government of God. We are called for governance. We are called to showcase the heart of God. Now when you move there, you will see, now the second ember speaks Ecoforum Trade Union of Southern Africa. In acronym or abbreviation is ETUSA, meaning we are not even just compelled. We have given it to our shoulders to say we will carry it as the government of Ecoforum to see to it that now the workers of this nation and also our sister countries will find justice, and every one of them will no longer be a subject to slavery, will no longer be a subject to the three-way trade that we see in our nation, that we have actually begin to allow because of the relationships that we have. And now we are now given power to be able to restore and begin to deliver our people from slavery of the three-way trade and all the promises that are in the commonwealths and all those in the world. But now we need to find the commonalities that we have in South Africa so that they can be aligned with our people, and also in terms of now the microeconomy, so it can affect their in their household incomes. Because I hear when we talk politically, we mostly release rhetorics that speaks in line with the economy. Can I say this now? The economy of South Africa, even if it grows, it grows to a certain percentage, which is high, without any inflation. You need to understand, the economy of South Africa, if it does not speak directly to its people, it will just be, a benefit to the few, but it will not come. It doesn't matter how much it can grow. So now we need to build the economy from what? From down up, a kind of a position, a down up, and we need to turn that hierarchy, turn that pyramid, and let our people become the government. And us as the public servants, we serve them. We are the stewards. We are the governors of these people. And they remain there as what? As the government, as the people that are of beneficiation because of the things that we implement in the August House, in all legislature in the nation. Now, that trade union will work and stand for our people and will exhume great labor policies that will speak in line with the worker of South Africa. So now, I want to talk to every worker of South Africa that now Eco Forum is here for you, for domestic workers, for everybody. We're not just talking a living wage. We are talking a meritorious wage. You see, there's one thing when you are in your land. When you are in your land, you are not a slave. You need to enjoy as you till the ground and work in the industry of your land. You need to be a negotiator of actually how you need to actually present yourself in order to be censored on the need of our families and our children. So now we cannot go as if we need to beg and we need to go into toy. We need to begin to now have, the slow downs and all those things, and political parties begin to use that for their own bait. But we need, at most, to stand and make it an assurance that now, as workers of South Africa, it is to you what we call today. It is important for you to understand. Now, let me do this because I think we have in our midst, because I'm talking to you, I want to talk to South Africa. Now, we have even here, as we are speaking, there is a caller that has come through. Now, I want us to follow this in here. Welcome. Talk with the president of Eco Forum.
Okay, good evening, President of Eco Forum. How are you?
I am blessed in yourself, ma'am.
Yes, I'm blessed too. Apostle Langa, I just want to find out in terms of the forum that you are establishing.
Yes.
We have parties like economic freedom fighters, which are radical in terms of their approach.
That's right.
Can you tell me, in terms of yours, what kind of approach are you going to take South Africa forward in terms of the economy? Like, we are now facing such a challenge in terms of the development in the economy of our country.
Yes.
So, if ever, what are you promising to the nation?
Now, thank you, madam. I'm so thankful for that question, because that's what we are here for. Now, I understand that the reference, or I could say inference, because we are not, we can't even be aligned to any. But now, ours is to approach, things economically and theocratically. But now, let me say this, in terms of the economy, radicality is important. But I think we need to actually have an emergence of leaders, whether they are new entrants who could be able to present a new wave in how we approach the economy. Because approaching the economy, we need to become the economy. we need to understand who we are first as South Africans. Not only that we'll go about looking forward and say we need foreign investment and, let's grab this, let's grab that, but we need to be innovators and allow that invention spirit to come out, so that the first thing which I believe is going to be our strong point of anchor, it's going to be education has to be directively be pointed out to the economy. Now, if you look at the education we have in South Africa, it is not actually in line with the economy we have in South Africa. That's why you'll find a child will come through school for 12 years, but come out not even knowing who they are. So now, the very important thing for a nation to actually begin to do in order to build, because it's not about election, it's a centenary, it's a 100-year plan that we need to put on board in order for people to grow some, in order for South Africa to grow some. Because in every season, every system that is established, it takes many years for people to come where they are. Though people throw things in order to please others, it doesn't work. So we start with education, that our education must be in line. And we said we are actually now standing and championing what we call dual education. And we want to champion it first in policy. Now, how do you go about that? It's theory with practice that will bring technical kind of an approach, whereby, as I said, that whereby when I learn mathematics at the age maybe in grade 3, then I'm aligning with my mathematics in order to be able to understand that mathematics can be a tool or a mechanism for chemical engineering or for medicine. Then once a child gets to develop that at an early age, because we're competing with nations like China, America, and that which they also have that kind of sporting. Now, in sporting our children from an ECD kind of dimension, ECD level, when you sport them from an early age, then you begin to grow them and groom them accordingly, so that you know whether a child is technical, whether a child is that this one is academia, then we can put our children accordingly, because that is where the economy of the country begins. And it doesn't begin in the university, because I know other parties will embrace universities. No, it begins there. That's why you see many parties want to take that direction. And when we spoke and launched our manifesto locally, we spoke these words, and we believe that they will change our nation if we can be heard and we can be actually be trusted to champion this dual education in order to be able to build, as we are doing what we call a progressive kind of a gradual build-up to an economy that is conducive for all. Now, secondly, if I can tell you now, we need to understand that in this time, we are living in the time of digital economies. And when we say digital economies, we need as South Africa, because you need to understand, many countries or many governments, they don't allow digital economies, reasons being, digital economies can expose many things. For example, it's technological economies, whereby you begin to train not only to import, because we have been importing from China every other way, but we have our students at the age of 19 who are actually now saying we are doing IT. But now, how about beginning at an early age where we conscientize our children? They love playing with things. We give them phones, we give them keyboards, we give them things. They play with them. And as they play and as they work on those things, then now they catch the anointing, they catch the grace. And as they catch the grace, whether it's mechanical, whether it's chemical, and therefore we will begin to identify a generation that will breed out something of great revolution, especially coming from the church, because that is the time when people of God, even the people in the world, will understand that now economy began in the house when God gave us agriculture and mining. Now, if I have to take you there, then you remember we used to be taught agriculture at schools. Now, the problem being now, in other words, then now we find ourselves not liking or loving agriculture, because when you do something wrong at school, they will say to you, go and work at the garden. So that's why you find many African brothers don't want the garden. But we need to reintroduce that. How do you do that? Family agriculture, and therefore you improvise into pastoralization and family agriculture, improvision into what we call today, meaning an agriculture that has a market. Then you create local market from within. So because now we can't grow our economy by manner of what? Of foreign investment or manner of sourcing money from outside. Because that to it, you must understand, it sounds good, but it's not a good news. It's bad news because it's like selling half of our kingdom to other people at an opportune time. An opportunity will be taken against us.
Okay, Apostle, I believe that you are a man of God. And one other thing, if I'm not taking time for other callers, I just want to find out from you, because I can see that your party is anchored in terms of the Word of God and in terms of the principles of Christianity. Then I just want to find out, how are you going to address, in terms, you can see that we have lost our morality in South Africa. Kids are killing kids. Kids are being raped. There are so much things that are happening that we will align them as demonic.
That's right.
And you as a party, how are you going to redress back to our culture so that we can have morals in our country, South Africa? How are you going to approach that?
Now, the approach will be this far because we have started doing that. You see, how we can do that is to also recognize kings. You know, we can't do it alone. We need kings. We need leaders of the land. We need I say to people that it doesn't matter how others will feel about it, but we need to recognize anointed kings and traditional leadership so that they can also begin to operate in terms of moral regeneration. But now what we can do on our side is to make sure that we understand the importance in how we allow this thing to happen. We need to understand the emergence, even in how the enemy is coming forward. And we need to tackle it not emotionally, because the other problem is that we are tackling an emotional issue emotionally. And it becomes a chaos. So as the government of Eco Forum, we will by all means, find a platform whereby we don't want to tackle things which are emotional with emotionalism. So we will utilize, what we have, meaning in terms of the word of God, in how we should relate one to another. And you see, it doesn't take a preaching, or it doesn't take the church. It will take each and every elderly person in South Africa to engage in that. As a party, we are actually available to give those training and those facilitation in order for people to understand how to go about, because I might not give you all in terms of the morality. And the other thing that is great is prayer, madam.
Hello?
I was saying the other thing of importance which South Africa is cut off in the schools is prayer. You see, we need to be praying.
I was coming to that, Apostle, because you can see that the church is so much under attack. And then with this new commission of interrogating the churches and whatsoever, what is your take in terms of that policy?
Now, you see, madam, at most, that's why if you begin to centralize the thing or the move of God into other things, we might not be able to win the battle. It's like a preacher who put a tent and expect everybody to come, and drunkards come, everybody comes in the tent, and most of the people who came in the tent are preachers today. So now, but we know that this is it's a time which is so ripe for the enemy to deal with the church, even seduce the church. But now you need to understand that this time was spoken of, that even when they come, we will know that they are coming. And I could frankly tell you one thing that you should understand. When God allows certain things to actually happen, is because God is allowing justice and righteousness even in our midst, which is the importance of how the church actually must be. But now as a church, we need to be careful in how we embrace certain things, whether on on media because it's a propagandizing media that comes out against certain personalities. And let me tell you why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm saying what I'm saying because we need to go back and read, because there are 10 points that are released already. And those 10 points that, as I'm talking to you as one who is actually a questionnaire, you need to know that there are those points which actually speaks against the church. And now, for any reason that happens, the reason why the church was actually trying to have resistance, not because they did not want the law, but the resistance was that now, if you establish anything that comes as if there is a mandate already, we are not becoming part of the establishment. So when you establish something that goes in line with the church, you must have invited the church to be part, and so that we can begin to collaborate and accumulate ourselves as a church in order to be able to know what to do in terms of law giving. But unfortunately, that was not the path that was taken. So if you are in spirit, you will understand, but if you are in the natural, you might miss it. But now, I want to talk here as a president and talking on behalf of everybody. I'm saying God allows, and there are certain things are permissible will for justice and what? And righteousness. And that is why the church is awakening now, because you remember the church was also in slumber. So we are awakening into what? Into great power. No matter the persecution, no matter how we can be diminished. Today when you say to a person you are a prophet, they laugh at us. They say, you. They say, I. But now, no matter how people can say what they say, but the church will remain. It's greater than any commission. The church will remain. But it is important to create a table for communion so that there could be proper understanding. And also, there could be people that run that thing accordingly. It cannot be unfair, and we view the church, while many things have been happening in the South Africa for many years. But now we're not condoning any wrong deeds as such. But we are saying, now we are also part of this legislature, and we are asking that we need to be consulted accordingly, respected accordingly, and may we stop a propagandizing media and allow the church to become part of leadership so that we can help, because it's not only going to be political leaders that will help us in South Africa. We need the preachers, we need the prophets, we need the apostles, we need the teachers, we need them to be part of government and governance.
Yes. Okay, Apostle, let me not take time for other callers to call. Thank you for the response.
Thank you, madam.
Thank
madam.
you.
We thank you. We thank you, and God bless you.
I'm blessed. Bye.
Amen. I'm so thankful because, you enter into times where you need to answer things as from the Spirit. And I want to just, not in repetition, but just to put it out there. When God moves, he moves the way he likes. Some of the things that he does or he will do, as someone who is unspiritual and you might not understand, there were times where we never understood what others have done even outside the church. But we never have dealt with them in how the church has been dealt with. But I want to say, when Echo Forum comes on board, we need to understand as South Africans that this is leadership. These are professionals that had to deal with serious things. We talk economy, we talk blockchain. So now, in other words, we need to stop as the church is coming on board, or maybe anybody who comes from church or leaders. So now we are having leaders in many parties who are hiding themselves that they are coming from church. So we are not going to be coward because the church is going through fire. We thank God for the fire, because the fire will prune us to have to have to come out and be more precious like gold and silver. Silver has been taken through fire for redemption. Gold has been taken through fire for divinity. So when the divine nature of God comes upon the church, it comes in its way. But let me tell you something. I want to talk to every man and woman of God that are out there. I want to talk to politicians, businessmen. I want you to know that Echo Forum is your new home. Echo Forum, it is your new home, where policies are being outlined and you are the policymaker of this organization. And I want to tell you, our borders are open and our doors are open. Come through and let us take South Africa forward, and we're going to stand. And I want to warn you on something here, because now the fight today is no longer about political parties. The fight is spiritual. That's why you see what you are seeing happening. But now there are those that will rise up in order to present the heart of God. Echo Forum stands for South Africans. Our dedication is to what? To all South Africans, to every South Africans, to everyone that is now able differently. And we are also dedicating this to our elders, not only the youth in succession, to our elders out there, Mama Bet, Santana Bokoko, Santana Bomama. We love you all, our old women and men, which are our parents. Let's take care of them and make sure that they are not also discriminated, as they are the ones who have built South Africa. So as a president of this, of this movement and of this government of Echo Forum, I stand for the elders. I stand for the young. I stand for our women. I stand for our girls. I'm standing here to say we believe that South Africa will come where it should be. And we thank you tonight for what actually has transpired in this place. And I want to say to you all, let Echo Forum grow in each and every heart. And we say, Aman, hallelujah. We mean we are taking power and we are taking praise. We put together. And you are not my comrade, but you are my confidant. Meaning we stand together, we hold hands together. So as you are on the streets, at schools, everywhere where you are, in the complexes, in the malls, I want you to meet people and say, Aman, hallelujah. And when you say Aman, hallelujah, everywhere you say what? Aman, hallelujah. Amandalujah. Amandalujah. So now we are tired of Amanda away to tomorrow you kill your own counselor. We are tired of Amanda away to tomorrow you kill your own comrade. We are tired of that, because Amanda away to you take the same power, you destroy your own party, you destroy your own comrade. From today we are raising every confidant. Even the comrades that have died, we are here and want a movement of grace to what? To be able to cover you again and come back into the political spectrum. Whatsoever that have happened, God will cover you. And I want to declare by saying, my brother, confident them down.
Yes.
Let South Africa go back to God.
Definitely, Mr.
SA, let's tell them now. SA back to God.